Hey everybody, Icy Cat here. We've got a lot of information today, so there's actually two videos. This one is covering all of the information regarding a ton of existing operator buffs and nerfs that are coming with the new season. These are the designer's notes for the preseason that have launched today on the dev blog, and we'll take a look at this. I do also have another video that went up today. That one has a new cutscene for Mozzie and Gridlock and gives us more information on what their abilities are and what they look like. But as I said, this one will be dealing with a bunch of adjustments to existing operators for both buffs and nerfs. So let's get right into these. They say they've got a few changes that will have an impact on gameplay. They're currently in the process of making tweaks and adjustments to some of the high impact operators, and they're doing this while they continue reworks for operators like Lion in the background. These changes will come with the Year 4 Season 1 patch and will be available on the Year 4 Season 1 test server. Please note that not all changes are final and they will be monitoring feedback during the test server. So arguably the most controversial change here is going to be for Ashe. She's got her ACOG removed from the R4C. They say that Ashe is very popular and very strong. Within the balancing team, they are challenging whether or not all attackers have ACOGs by default and feel as if Ashe is a great place to learn what impact the removal of attacking ACOGs will have. Also, her R4C is currently picked 99% of the time, and this should help balance her weapon pick rate a bit more. So for all you Ashe mains out there, if you want to use an ACOG on her, you're going to have to pick her G36C once that patch launches. The next one getting a change is Maverick. They've decided to increase the swap time between the blowtorch and his weapons. They say that his ability to quietly make a hole in a reinforced wall and quickly swap to a weapon to punish defenders is difficult to counter. So they will be increasing the amount of time it will take for him to swap between the blowtorch and a weapon. They've looked into making the sound louder, but that would require an audio work that they cannot complete right now, so they're shelving that for now, and it's something that they'll look at maybe doing a change to down the road. Next up is Dokkaebi. After 18 seconds, phone calls from Dokkaebi will hang up on their own. Furthermore, being in range of mute jammers will prevent Dokkaebi from calling you. Also, walking into range of mute jammers will hang up phone calls during the call. They say that their goal with these changes is to reduce the defender's frustration when playing against Dokkaebi. By introducing additional options for countering her logic bomb, this will offer more choice for defenders. So once again, after 18 seconds, even if you haven't manually disabled the phone call, it will stop on its own. Also, being in range of or going into range of a mute jammer will disconnect or prevent the call from happening. The next change comes to Capitao, and this is a really interesting one. They're increasing the area of effect size, but reducing the damage per tick from 19 to 12. They say that they're introducing an improved propagation system that will make the area of effect not go through objects. They've been working on this for a while, and finally they're able to see it in action with Capitao's asphyxiation bolts. The new system allows them to improve the area of effect and consequently to reduce the damage inflicted by the bolts. With these changes, they wanted to shift Capitao back to his original intention, which is that of an area denial operator. Currently, his asphyxiation bolts were being used more like a frag grenade, so the damage reduction and area of effect increase should reduce the viability of the bolts being used as frag grenades. They're also going to be using the test server to experiment with different methods for how the area of effect from the asphyxiation bolts interacts with the environment. They're looking for ways to increase how dynamic this area of effect can be when encountering environments with variable heights. And you can see that at work here in this short video clip that's been looping. So you can see that when it hits that top corner, some of it will spill onto the lower ground down below. So it's kind of having this overlapping variable height thing going on. A minor change comes to Clash. They're removing the muzzle brake on the machine pistol. The muzzle brake on Clash's machine pistol is the worst choice in all scenarios now that it is fully automatic, so they're removing it. Here's a big nerf for Lesion. His goo mines will no longer do 8 points of damage. They're being cut in half to 4 points per tick. They say that Lesion is currently very strong, and they believe that it has to deal with the total amount of damage that goo mines can inflict to players combined with preventing sprint and diffuser planting actions. In order to minimize that, they are reducing the amount of damage that a single goo mine can do for each tick. Breaching charges are getting an overall change. The deployment animation is now going to be much faster. Damage on the attacker side is reduced from 150 down to 50, and damage area of effect on the defender side is increased. However, the lethal damage area of effect on the defender side is reduced. They wanted to make the breach charge safer and more comfortable for the attackers to use. So if you wanted to quickly end the round by putting a breaching charge on a wall or door and just standing in front of it as an attacker, that's not something that's going to get the job done anymore, as apparently it's only going to do 50 damage to you now. Then they've got the current status of some other things they're working on, and one of those is the Deployable Shield. They say they're reworking the Deployable Shield, which has always been difficult to place properly and also offered very little insight into whether or not your body was protected. They are now reworking how the Deployable Shield functions and how it is used within the game. In regard to shield operators, they say that they are aware that the current playstyle for ballistic shields heavily favors direct gunfights instead of teamwork and tactical positioning. They're looking to address it by slowing down the speed of aiming down sights while having a shield equipped. Lesion is the first of the operator reworks that they're going to mention here, and they say that in the designer notes from Year 3, Season 4.2, the Lesion rework is in progress and we'll see more details at the 6th Invitational this weekend. Furthermore, Glaz is also being put through a rework situation, and they really want to bring him back to the original intention of being able to hold down an angle on a corridor or lock it down without becoming a very strong entry fragger. And then there's Blitz. They recognize that Blitz is one of the more frustrating operators to play against. Increasing the amount of time required for him to aim down sights with his pistol is one of the ways they hope to alleviate that. But they say additionally we explored increasing the cooldown of his ability and tweaking how we detect flashes. But both of these changes will require extensive audio and code work and are therefore on the backlog to look into for the future. So there you go, a ton of information regarding new operator buffs and nerfs for our existing roster, as well as changes for reworks and even some accessory gadgets like deployable shields and breaching charges. As I said, this is one of 2 videos that I'm putting out today because there's been so much information that has come out. So I'll put a card up on the screen that you can follow to link over to that other video and check that out if you haven't seen it already. I will of course be covering any additional information that they have regarding Mozzie and Gridlock or the new Australian season, and I'll also be going over all the reveals covered this weekend during the 6 Invitationals. So if you haven't already, please do like and subscribe. Make sure you click that notification icon so you're alerted as soon as new content becomes available. You can also follow me over at IcyCat25 on either Facebook or Twitter. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.